Hey folks, we are back on the Air Superiority Dev server, taking a look this time at the JAS39A Gripen. This is going to be the new top fighter for Sweden. It's going to be right down here where everyone expected, below the Viggens. It's in rank 8 at BR12. I'm expecting this to go up to 12.3 fairly quickly. If not when the patch releases, then not long after. Yeah, I think you'll understand why when I get this thing out into combat and we see it flying. You can see the stat card here for now, though. Couple things I want to highlight. You get a 27mm Aiken M85 cannon with 512 rounds. This is an exceptionally strong gun, and you get a lot of ammo for it. So the Gripen is going to be really freaking dangerous in a close-in gunfight. Especially considering this thing's frickin' UFO maneuverability. So if you get one of these things like within 1 kilometer of you and, you know, it's offensive, be careful. This is going to be a monster frickin' gun. And in a break with sort of the tradition for the other high-tier Swedish aircraft we have in the game right now, you get tracers, at least on the dev server. So who knows what happens when it goes live. Usual disclaimers, you know, everything's subject to change. Let's check out the pilot. So, full ballistics computer, EEGS for close-in combat. That's all expected. The radar warning receiver on this is a little bit more Soviet style than American style in that you get sensor indications as to which sensor on the aircraft is being illuminated, rather than getting the mathematically calculated azimuth, you know, the more precise directional bearing. You'll see that when we fly out. It's not some big crippling disadvantage, but it is a caveat to know about. The plane starts off with 80 large caliber countermeasures, and you can augment that. I'll show you in a minute. But this isn't bad as the stock loadout for defenses. The radar is the PS37A, basically what you'd expect to see from a relatively simple top-tier radar set. We're going to get an all-aspect pulse Doppler mode, regular lookup, track while scan, BVR, ACM, you know, all the usual features we're going to want to see there. Let's take a look at the weapon loads, because this is interesting. Now, in real life, the Gripen is, even the 39A, is able to carry a pretty extensive load of air-to-air weapons. I've got some custom stuff down there, but is able to carry a pretty extensive load of air-to-air weapons that are not yet reflected in the game. For right now, all we're getting is the RB-74, the RB-71DF. I think this is the Skyflash missile. And of course, the RB-74s are Sidewinders. And the RB-74M. This is analogous to a 9 mic. Right now, I believe this is going to be a copy-paste of the L. This is a copy-paste of the M. I believe. Don't quote me on that. When the patch goes live, we'll see what the stats end up looking like. All in all, these are, you know, this is a decent weapon load, 6 hard points. You know, it's going to feel very similar to an F-16 in terms of, like, the quantity of weapons and everything. In real life, the Gripen is able to carry radar missiles out on these wingtip pylons instead of the tip winders. But in the game, they've only given it the tip winders, so whatever. Air-to-ground weapons. You can take a Lightning II targeting pod, a couple of different types of laser-guided bombs, including the huge Paveway 3s that I love that have the inertial guidance. Those things are freaking beastly. And you can take the RB-75. This is a TV-guided Maverick. So JAS39A, not going to be too bad for close air support, in addition to doing air superiority. This is a very well-rounded aircraft. And you're also noticing you can take extra countermeasure pods on some of these pylons with up to 640 stores, which is a lot. Now, you can also take these mixed pylons with a countermeasure dispenser and an RB-74. So you can take this load out here, get your 6 RB-74Ms and 640 plus 80 countermeasures. So you're going to be doing just fine. This is, I think, going to be a very effective aircraft in the current top-tier War Thunder meta with, like, 500-player matches where it always devolves into this big chaotic furball. The Gripen is going to be able to just throw countermeasures all over the place, nonstop, like frickin' auto-dispense these things everywhere, and just spam these all-aspect missiles out like there's no tomorrow, and it's got an effective gun. So I'm pretty optimistic about how this is going to work out in the game. It's worth mentioning the Gaijin staff did confirm that the UK, the British tech tree, is going to be getting the 39C Gripen under a South African flag. So all of you people who have complained that the American tech tree always gets the shit version of American planes, while foreign tech trees get, like, updated versions of American planes, it's not just you anymore. It's going to Sweden. So UK is going to get the updated, more modern version of the Gripen. It is not yet on the dev server. I'm going to be keeping an eye out on it. I'll try and get you a little preview as soon as it shows up. But for now, let's get the 39A up into a match. Okay, we're flying out into a match with the JAS39A Gripen. And you can see the size compared to, a couple of these other fighters. It's going to be roughly the size of an F-16. This isn't a large aircraft the way that, like, the F-15 and the Su-27 are. Oh, come on, buddy, don't crash out. Okay, good. And I'm going to actually be a little bit more conservative flying out this time. I took the loadout of the 6 RB-74Ms. No drop tank. The Gripen on the dev server right now does not have a drop tank. In real life, drop tanks were a thing for this jet. On the dev server right now, not so much. We'll see what happens when it goes live. I know a few of us on the Content Creator Discord have already left some feedback for the Snail that the Gripen is supposed to have drop tanks. We'll see if they actually care. Taking a look at the radar, we have a search pulse Doppler mode, a track wall scan, and a regular lookup analog search mode. So basically as expected there. For sweep angles on the scope, we've got 120 by 8, 120 by 3, and 30 by 5, roughly as expected. Range presets, 30 kilometers, 100, 300, and 10. So, again, relatively good basic radar set. I also want you to notice the countermeasures. 480 flares and 240 chaff. So I did the flare priority loadout with the extra stations carrying the 9 mics and the countermeasure pods. This thing can just dump these countermeasures all over the place and not even frickin' care. I'm optimistic about that. And combined with its maneuverability, which you're going to see in a minute as soon as I get close to some enemy targets, if the flight model is not significantly nerfed by the time this goes live and the patch drops in a couple of weeks, the Gripen is gonna dominate the close-in dogfighting meta. Like, no question. Even without a helmet-mounted targeting for its missiles, this thing is gonna be a frickin' UFO in close combat. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit in editing as I try to get in and find some targets. All right, we're coming in on some aircraft here. It looks like these are all players. So hopefully they'll put up a little bit more of a fight than the bots. And if we can survive the merge, you're going to see some amazing turn performance out of this Gripen. Let's give that guy something to worry about, kind of force him to go defensive as I spam more countermeasures than God. Look at this insane turn. I mean, what? Absolutely insane dogfighting agility out of this plane. And the F-15 is another jet that has countermeasures to spare. So this is an engagement where he actually has a pretty significant advantage. He can run away from me if he wanted to, and he's got enough countermeasures to defer my missile shots. Now, something I'm already noticing is a little bit of a disadvantage I wasn't expecting. The lack of give me a second. Okay, got him. The lack of a vertical frame for the ACM Boresight mode. We're limited to that small square. I had a little bit of trouble locking that guy with the ACM while we were in that little turn fight. I wasn't expecting that. That could end up being a factor to consider. All right, checking fuel. We're doing good. Going to try and get a little closer on this guy. I'm going to take a shot at him as we come over this mountaintop, assuming he's still there. Force him into a defensive maneuver. Hopefully close the distance. I didn't see that guy in the... oh, there he is. Oh, he's trying to be sneaky. Oh, that turn. Oh, it's insane. Here, have fun with that. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so... I don't know if I'm going to find anyone before the match ends, but I hope that this quick little demonstration, if nothing else, has shown you how lethal the Gripen is going to be. I mean, the cannon, exceptionally effective. You saw that short burst I took on that F-15 and brought him down. You know, that wasn't... I wasn't, like, fire hosing him or anything like that. The missiles are good. The maneuverability is insane. The load of countermeasures is more than adequate. My goodness, this thing is a freaking beast. If they don't nerf the flight model, this is going to absolutely take over the furball dogfight meta, in my opinion. Which, hopefully, I also expect you see now why I'm betting this goes up to 12-3. As always, thanks for watching.